Home sweet home and home sweet homecoming tonight for the Clinton Maroons. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you live to Clinton High School for tonight's fourth game of the 1993 football schedule for the Clinton Maroons, as tonight the Maroons host the Sages of Monticello High School. This is Larry Dooling along with Cameron Mon. We've got a big crowd rolling in here, making their way into the stadium for tonight's ball game, and expecting a big one here tonight. The Maroons coming in undefeated, 3-0 on the year so far, completing a three-game road trip, so to speak, to start the season unblemished, coming through three pretty good teams in that road trip, and ending up undefeated, and now ready to play this homecoming game against Monticello, who comes in, surprisingly, the opposite direction. 0-3 this year. Usually when we meet them, they're 3-0. But this year, they're winless in their three ball games. Cameron Mon, there's no doubt, even though the Maroons come into this ball 3-0 riding high, and Monticello down this year, the Maroons are up for this ball game, mainly due to what's happened the last couple of years between these two teams. A couple of close games that have gone the way of Sages the last 2 years, and the Maroons are ready to pounce on them and get some revenge here tonight.
Exactly, Larry.
He's a head coach up in that area, continuing his fine career as a head coach, but he has left Monticello, and they lost some ball players and, of course, some injuries, and so things are crumbling a bit for them, but we cannot take them lightly here tonight. Nice crowd moving in. Maybe Phil can pan maybe to the right a little bit. I don't know if he can do that or not, but possibly Phil can get a shot of maybe the crowd filing in here for us as he pans down to the right toward the gate, and you can get a look at some of the people moving in here. We saw the band on the far side of the field as they were moving in. We're bringing this game, of course, to you live on WHLW-FM, and, of course, taping it for video playback, Clinton Cable TV Channel 7. That'll be shown next Tuesday at 4:30 in the afternoon, then Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and also on that evening, Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock in the evening. Kind of hard to tell from that shot, but there are a lot of people still making their way into this. It's about 10 minutes before this game is going to get underway, so we're expecting a big crowd here for this one tonight, and a very enthusiastic crowd, hoping to see the Maroons go forward. And it would be the first time since 1984, and I can remember that ball club at 7-2 that year, but the first time since 1984 the Maroons have won their first four straight games. That year they went 5-0 before they were knocked off by Central Catholic in a very close one-point loss. They also lost to St. Bede by 1 point back in 1984 and finished 7-2 that year. But this team can do as well or possibly better. This is an important one tonight to keep it alive. We're going to take a break here on both radio and TV and be back with more when we come back in a moment.
What name comes to mind when you think about conservative investing? Which investment company do you think of when you want personal service? Where can you find people who really care about your financial well-being? When it comes to investing, there's only one name you need to know: Edward D. Jones and Company.
We're back here live at Clinton High School. Larry Dooling and Cameron Mon again back here with you, and a couple minutes away from the start of this homecoming football game for the Clinton Maroons as they host the Sages of Monticello here this evening. Let's talk a little bit about the Sages. We've already mentioned the fact that they come in here 0-3. They lost their opener to Tolona Unity by a real scant margin, a very close ball game. They dropped their second ball game to St. Joseph Ogden. St. Joe won that one pretty handily, and then last week they played their opening game in the conference, just like the Maroons did, except they played Argenta-Oriana. We really aren't expecting Argenta to be too tough this year, and they were able to beat the Sages 14-6. What about this Sage football team, besides the fact they've had injuries and so on? What should we expect from what you've been able to ascertain, Cameron, out of this football team as far as an offensive attack?
Well, I talked to their coach, John Beckhue, earlier this week, and he sounds like he's in a rebuilding phase for the team. He's playing a lot of youngsters, a lot of sophomores, he said. He says it's a pretty good group of sophomores, but again, they're going to take their lumps. And the biggest problem Monticello's had this year, beside turnovers, has been penalties. John was saying that early in the Argenta game, they had a 1st and goal about the 5-yard line, a holding penalty, and another penalty set them back, and they ended up not scoring on that drive. And he feels that possibly could have cost him the game. And when you have a young team like that, you're going to see penalties will kill you as much as anything else. It seems like the older teams, the teams like Clinton with a lot of seniors, discipline, don't seem to make those penalties, don't make as many of them.
Yeah, the Maroons have done a good job staying away from that this year. We were taking a look down at the Maroons sophomore quarterback, Nate Sams, getting loosened up before this ball game here on our video replay. You mentioned sophomores for Monticello. They've got a sophomore quarterback just like Warrensburg did last week. Name is Tom Dawson. He'll be starting at quarterback. So as you mentioned, some possibly inexperienced players starting for them, and they got one right at the quarterback spot. Nate Sams has performed so very well for the Maroons this year. We're getting very close to getting this game underway. Both teams are heading out to the center of the field. This football field is in fantastic condition. Of course, it hasn't had a varsity game played on it so far this year, and here we are in week number 4. It's had some JVs and freshman games played on it, but it's in great condition. Look at the great lining job they've done here, the numbers for the yard markers and so on. This is the best football field for us this year to watch and call a football game, without a doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. A great job by Mr. Nunnery and his staff, and it's a pleasure to look at a field like this. It's easily the best one we've seen so far this season.
The Maroons need to just stick with their game plan. I think probably the biggest thing they got to avoid here tonight is just being too overconfident, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, again, I don't think that'll be a real big problem for Clinton. Like I said, they've been reminded plenty that they haven't beaten Monticello since 1986, and they lost a couple games these last 2 years that they possibly could have won. So there's plenty of incentive for Clinton right there.
Monticello will kick off to the Maroons, so the Maroons will have the ball first. And here's Paul Whitlock for Monticello at his own 40 with the boot. End over end kick. It'll be Parson as the balloons go into the air, taking it. He's across the 20, 25, far side of the field. Has an opening, 30, 35, cut from behind and brought down about the 39-yard line. Parson with the return gives the Maroons good field position. They'll start 1st and 10 at about their own 39-yard line, just short of that 40-yard line, and that's a good place to start this ball game for the Maroons. Cameron's going to be with us all night tonight. Kevin Barlow's got the camera. He's here tonight, so Kevin's going to be shooting some pictures, I understand.
Yeah, Kevin should be listening in, too, so maybe he'll give us a signal that he's listening in. I don't see him right now.
He doesn't have the radio on right now.
I guess he's not.
Maroons are running first down. Josh Carter's got a big open. He's across midfield. He's to the 40, 35, caught from behind and brought down at the 30-yard line in Monticello territory. The first down play, just a quick pop to the right side, and Carter had a big hole, and he's already about 25, 30 yards downfield. They'll spot it inside the 30, 29-yard line of Monticello. A big first down for the Maroons on their first play from scrimmage. Cameron, congratulations to you, by the way, and your wife, Suzanne, on the arrival of your child last week. You missed the game last week because you wanted to stay up with the baby all night, I understand. Out of the I formation, Sams gives it off. Parson looking for an opening up the middle, cuts it back inside again after popping outside, and gets a hard-earned 5 yards or so, maybe 6 or 7. It'll bring up a second down and about 4 or 5 to go for the Maroons. Jordan Patrick, is that right?
That's correct, Larry, and he's a beautiful baby boy, and we're very excited to have him in our lives.
Your eyes are looking a little bloodshot. You're looking a little weary. Have you been up a little bit at night with this youngster?
Not till last night. Last night I got up kind of early and never really went back to bed.
Where's Suzanne? Did you leave her home with the baby tonight?
She should be listening in on us. That's what she said she was going to be doing.
2nd and 3 for the Maroons. Out of the I formation, Sam's quick pitch. Carter cuts it upfield. Gets hit. There's a flag on the play. Parson was trying to give him a block out front, and possibly Parson might have been called for some kind of penalty here, or they got a hold of Carter's face mask. We'll wait and see which way this is going to go, but it was in the vicinity of where the tackle was being made. It is a holding call against the Maroons, and I don't like to point fingers, but that was thrown right at Matt Parson, who was doing the lead blocking for Carter on that play. So this one's going to lose some yardage for the Maroons. The penalty being discussed with the Monticello captain right now, near the original line of scrimmage, which was about the 21, 22-yard line in Monticello territory. We're in the opening minute or so of this ball game. We played a minute and about 20 seconds. No score, but the Maroons with the opening drive, moving it downfield, and a couple good runs, especially the opening one by Josh Carter. The penalty will push him back, though, to the 35-yard line. It'll bring up a second down and about 17 for the Maroons. And the Maroons are already up to the line of scrimmage. One lone back and a couple slot backs on this particular play. One wide receiver to the left is Helton. Now Carter goes in the backfield in motion. They'll give it on the cross, and this is Chad Herzog, who gets it inside the 30-yard line down to about the 28-yard line. A quick 7 yards on the run by Chad Herzog, whose vehicle was pictured in the pantograph I saw this morning. I think his dad had a lot to do with the work that went in on that vehicle years ago, but Chad drives that thing around with pride now, and it's a good-looking 52 truck. Did you see that in the paper? Oh, sorry, I mentioned another newspaper.
Hey,
sorry
right.
about that.
I didn't see it in the paper, but I've seen it around town a little bit.
3rd down and 8 now for the Maroons. Out of the I. Sams on the option left. Will keep it. Cut it upfield. He's corralled and dropped well short of the first down. Monticello stayed with him quite well, unlike what happened to Warrensburg a few times last week. And it'll be a 4th down and about 4 coming up for the Maroons, and you know they'll go for it. They're at the 23, near the 22-yard line of Monticello. Big play here for the Maroons on the opening drive.
Clinton staying with this versatile philosophy again. 4 different runners, 4 offensive plays so far this series.
Out of the I formation again on 4th and a short 4. Sams with the long call, trying to draw him off sides. Can't do so. He'll use a timeout. He tried to pull him across, but the Sages stayed with it. And so the Maroons will use a timeout here, and Brian Knutson will have his troops rally around him for a moment to give them some instructions. We'll take a quick break here and be back with more Maroons on a drive, but trying to keep it alive here. No score in our ball game early in the first quarter.
The Warm Neighbors Fund pays heating bills for people in need. It also weatherizes homes, which helps reduce future heating bills. Warm Neighbors is administered by the Energy Assistance Foundation, a nonprofit organization formed in 1982 with a $250,000 donation from Illinois Power. Last year alone, your contributions and major funding from Illinois Power provided warmth for over 2,000 families.
On 4th down and 4, the Maroons going for it. It's very close, and they say it is short. Parson on the run was very close to it, but apparently they're able to stop Matt Parson just a few inches short of the first down, and a big stop for Monticello. They'll take over on downs.
Yeah, well, there again, the penalty plays a big part. This time it helps Monticello. That holding call stopped a little Clinton momentum. 4th and 4, Parson went right over right guard there for about 3 yards, came up just a bit short. And we'll get to see Monticello's offense for the first time tonight.
Good defensive stand by the Sages. They'll go with one wide receiver each way. And a shotgun formation for sophomore quarterback Tom Dawson. The snap gets by him. It's on the ground. He picks it back up. Excuse me, that's one of the backs that picks it up, Shelmadine. And he got a couple of yards. I guess it is Whitrock. Whitrock wears 22. Paul Whitrock, 178-pounder, a senior, picked it up off the ground, but it's a loss of a good 5 yards on the play. The snap on the shotgun to Dawson was low. He couldn't field it cleanly. It got by him. Whitlock alertly picked it up and tried to get something out of it, but a loss of about 5. 2nd and 15 coming up. Not a good start for the offense of the Sages.
No, but Whitlock made a little positive out of something negative there. He could have lost a few more yards, but he gained a few.
Again, they'll try the shotgun. Dawson awaiting the snap from center. And a flag before the snap. They'll hold it off here with the penalty.
Got the Monticello receiver on the far side of the field was in motion before the play began.
And the official on that side of the field had no trouble seeing that and waving the flag. We've played about 3.5 minutes in the opening quarter. No score in the ball game. The Maroons took the opening kickoff and moved it into Monticello territory, but then were stopped on downs. A penalty hurt them, a holding penalty. Another 5-yard penalty here against Monticello. So now they're back inside their own 10, about the 9.5-yard line. And they've got 2nd and 20 coming up. They've got to get it all the way out close to the 30-yard line in their own territory. The backfield, Paul Whitlock, we already mentioned him, and Jeremy Shelmadine, a 155-pound junior. Dawson will throw on 1st down. Got a good spiral out there. It's just over the outstretched fingertips of his intended receiver on the play. And that is Blaine Fothery. He's a 5'10", 135-pound sophomore. They had a Fothery a few years ago that was a pretty good receiver. I don't know if it's any relation. Very probably is. But Blaine unable to catch up with that one, and it goes incomplete. Now 3rd down and 20 coming up for the Sages.
Dawson showed a good arm there. He aired that ball out pretty good. Had good timing on it, just on the fingertips of Fothery. And Clinton, good defense on the corner there by, I believe that was Herzog playing the corner of that play.
So on 3rd down and long now, Dawson with the long call. Big rush by the Maroons. He's going to quarterback keep it. And he is hit behind a line thrown down.
5-yard line.
Helton was in there, Hammer was in there, and Parson, of course, was there, and they made sure he couldn't get through and is dropped for another loss on the play all the way back to about the 6. Near the 6-yard line, almost the 5-yard line. So Monticello really stacked up by penalties and good defense by the Maroons. They really went after it. Now let's see what they want to do on the punt. They're going to put everybody up on the line of scrimmage and go after this, it looks like.
I was going to ask if they had a safety last week in Warrensburg. They're about due for one this week, then.
First 2 ball games, they had a safety in each game. Herzog standing only about his own 30-yard line. It's a bad snap. He's going to try to run with it, and he's got an opening upfield. He won't get the first down, but the Maroons need to get him. Chad Herzog trips him up about the 23-yard line. I tell you what, that's a heads-up run by Josh Scott. He kept the ball from going out of the end zone, which saved 2 points. And then he alertly picked it up, and there was a big opening off to the left side. He tried to bring it upfield. He had to get to the 30-yard line. Herzog tripped him up just enough to drop him at the 23-yard line. So the Maroons will take over there. They gave him forward progress to the 24. The Maroons have it at the 24 of Monticello.
Even more heads up was the play by Chad Herzog. He immediately recognized it and came up, and, you know, he wasn't 4 or 5 yards away from picking up a first down for Monticello.
Sam's Maroons offense gives it to Parson. They get good penetration, and they're going to stack him up for no gain on the play. I tell you what, Monticello does not look like an 0-3 team here in the early going. The first man to push him back was Zach Hillard, and he gave his teammates a chance to slow him up enough and bring him down for a loss of 1 yard on the play. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Maroons. Parson rambled for over 150 yards last week against Warrensburg. That coming off a couple of over 100-yard ball games. So he's one of the leaders in this portion of the state with approaching 400 yards on this season. He should go well over 400 tonight if he has a typical ball game. Sam's on 2nd down, wants to throw, drops straight back, has plenty of time. Now hits the short pass to Nichols, 20, 15, 10-yard line, 5, knocked out of his hands but out of bounds. Stripped away, but the Maroons will have a 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line as Nichols has to go out of bounds as he approached the near sideline. Nichols has had that happen a couple of times this year, but both times he's dodged a bullet. When the ball's been knocked away, it's gone out of bounds, and they'll spot it at about the 3-yard line. 1st and goal for the Maroons on the Nichols reception, his 13th catch of the year.
Nicely designed play. Sam's had plenty of time, waited patiently for Nichols to cut across.
Sam's on the quarterback keeper on 1st and goal from the 3. Might have got a yard or so before he was thrown aside. We'll see how much forward progress they gave him. That's a long way for a quarterback sneak from the 3-yard line. He got it down to the 1. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1 after a 2-yard gain by Sam's. Sam's is one of the leaders in the area in scoring with several quarterback keepers, and of course those 2 option runs last week. He's racked up several touchdowns this year already. On 2nd and goal from the 1, Sam's, he'll hand it off this time. Carter going for his 4th touchdown of the year, and he's got it. A 1-yard dive into the left side of the line, and Josh Carter gets the Maroons on the board first in this ball game. The score comes with 6:21 to go in the first quarter of play, and the Maroons take a 6-0 lead on the 1-yard run by Josh Carter. Extra point attempt coming up in just a second as the band hits it, and the crowd celebrates here at homecoming. Maroons, we'll see if they'll go for 1 or 2 here. We see Jeremy Hinton, who's been doing the kicking this year, onto the field to attempt the extra point in just a moment, it would appear. Only got 1 extra point this way last week as he hit a low liner through. I'll see how he does on this one. Good snap. Herzog gets it down. The kick looks good from here, but he pulled it to the left. Had plenty of distance on it, but he pulled it no good to the left side. So timeout on the field with 6:21 to go in the first quarter of play. The Maroons lead the Sages by a 6-0 score. Back with more first quarter action in a moment. He's gotten so much yardage, but he hasn't got the touchdown run. Last week he ran one from the 50-yard line to the 1-yard line to set up a touchdown, but he hasn't hit pay dirt yet. But I'm sure he is happy with the way the team's gone this year, and will trade the 3-0 record for any touchdowns.
Well, I'm pretty sure he'll break the goal plane before the season ends,
I would think so, several times. But Carter's gotten, I think this was his 5th here, 4th or 5th, and most of them short yardage situations like that one. Good kick this time. That'll go to the 20-yard line. And on the return, I believe that's Josh Scott, tries the middle, and he is thrown back. Very little return there for Scott and the Sages. Their offense will try it a second time in this ball game. They gave him forward progress to about the 28-yard line, so 1st and 10 for the Sages from their own 28. Good, enthusiastic crowd here tonight, Cameron, as we expected. We were expecting a big crowd with the fact it's the first game of the year here at home, number 1. Let's add in this homecoming. And, of course, the team's off to a 3-0 record, so 3 good reasons to have a big crowd here tonight.
We'll throw in the Apple and Pork Festival. I'm sure a few people wandered over here from that. And,
flags on the first down play. And on the carry, Shelbadine carries to the left side, got a couple of yards, but let's see what the penalty is. Probably a procedure penalty coming up against Monticello, we would guess, but we'll wait and see. Let's see who the officials want to talk to first of all here. Here's the sign. It is procedure against Monticello. So that'll bring back the gain of a few yards on the play for the Sages. Next week, we're on the road. Might as well just go ahead and plug that one time here in the early going, and we'll mention it again later on when we get a chance. But while we're thinking of it, at Decatur, you'll enjoy being at St. Teresa next week, Cameron. We sit on top of the concession stand to do the ball game. And 2 years ago, it poured cats and dogs and sheep and lions and tigers and bears and everything else it could on us. It was miserable. It was pathetic. And we played the football game even when lightning struck within about a half block of the football field, and then they finally stopped it. And we got thumped, but we're going to be after them next week, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. On 1st and 15, the Maroons have them stacked up for no gain or a very short gain on the play. Whitlock got the carry. No gain on the play, it appears. And it'll bring up third down. Now, I guess it's just second down because we have penalty and first down. Second and 15 coming up. And it's a real treat to climb up the ladder and get on top of the concession stand at St. Teresa. It's not a bad viewing point, but it's not a lot of fun to get up there. And not a lot of fun to be in the rain while you're up there. They'll pass on the second down. It's deflected by Nichols, but the catch is made. And stopped for very little gain. Good, strong tackle by Josh Carter on Blaine Fothery. Fothery made the catch about the 28-yard line, so they got the 5 penalty yards back, it looks like. Just about all 5. Third and 11. Got about 4 on it. Third and 11 coming up for the Sages. They're at their own 27-yard line. Sean Fothery played for Monticello a few years ago. Outstanding receiver. He had good size. He was about 6'5" or so, if we remember correctly. He was a good target to throw to. And now this is Blaine Fothery. Don't know if they're a relation. We didn't check into that. But chances are they're related somehow. On third and 11 now. Dawson with the long call. Maroons coming with some pressure. He has time to throw. Wings it out there down the sideline. Herzog's there on the coverage as it goes incomplete, intended for Mike Traub. Traub, a 6'2", 155-pound junior, the intended receiver, but Chad Herzog had him step for step all the way down there.
Same pass play Monticello tried earlier in the game, and this time it is a little off. The timing wasn't quite there for Monticello, and wasn't really that close.
All right, somebody wasn't doing 55 out here, Cameron. Somebody was speeding. The police have somebody pulled over on Route 51. Here's the punt. Not a real long one by Monticello, but nobody was deep. The Maroons are going to put some pressure on, and Monticello will have a chance to down the ball inside the 40 at about the 36-yard line. And let's see if we can get that license plate number here on TV. Sir, can I see your driver's license, please? You were doing 105 in a 55 zone going around Clinton. Good shot, Phil. Phil gets a good picture there on TV of our fine police. Can't tell if it's state, county, or whatever, but they're doing their job out there. Maroons will take over, leading 6-0. First and 10 at their own 36-yard line after the punt by Monticello, which got a favorable roll into Clinton territory. And Parson gets the first down call. Tries to get outside. Now cuts it upfield. Gets about 6 or 7 yards going to the left side before he's brought down. Boy, Matt had some great runs last week, especially that one that he got all the way down to the 1-yard line at 49-yarder. I don't know if you got a chance to see the replay, but it was a terrific run, breaking a lot of tackles on the way.
I did, and that was a nice run right there, too. He bounced it, started inside, bounced off to the outside, made a nice pick out of what looked like to be a very short gain.
2nd and 4. Nate Sands, the sophomore quarterback. He'll give it off again, and Carter's got an opening to the right side. Now it cut it outside, around the corner. First down yardage across midfield. He's down to the 40-yard line before he's brought down by Monticello. First down for the Maroons. We'll see where they spot it, but it's very close to the 40-yard line in Monticello territory. As Carter again. Nice quick running. First trying to cut it inside, but then went around the corner to the outside on the right side and picking up the first down and a lot more into Sage's territory to just inside the 40-yard line.
Carter showed good speed there to get to the outside corner. Again, that play was designed to be a little more toward the middle of the field, and he cut it outside. And if he wasn't tripped up, he might still be running right now.
You know, this running attack reminds me of that 84 team we were talking about earlier. Here's Carter right up the middle, gaining a quick 3 yards or so. In 84, when the Maroons went 7-2 and won their first 5 games of that season, they had a running attack of Big Bob Case at fullback and little Doug McDonald at the tailback spots. And they were very similar. Bob was a lot taller than Matt, but Bob ran hard right up the middle, ran over people, never wanted to go down. And McDonald was the little jitterbug back that came out of the backfield and could scamper a lot like Josh Carter. On 2nd and 7 for the Maroons. Sam's back to pass. Pops it over the middle. It's deflected and almost intercepted. Was he able to pick it up cleanly? No. It hit the ground before the defensive back there dove for the ball and almost came up with it. That good effort by Travis Butler, but they said it bounced in front of him and it goes incomplete.
Monticello had that pass well defensed, and just a few too many arms for Nate to get through there to, I believe, was that Ben Nichols there going out?
I think that's who they were going to. I didn't catch it cleanly, and we don't have instant replay, darn it. We need it sometimes. Well, we got trips to the left side, 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 7 now for the Maroons. One low back, it's Parson. And Parson gets the call up the middle, and he is caught immediately and dropped. Right there at the line of scrimmage, grabbing him around the ankles is Tim Valentine. One of those sophomores that they're playing this year. He's only 5'10", but he's 190 pounds, and he made the play around the ankles to drop him after a gain of only a couple. It's 4th and a short 5 coming up for the Maroons, and I think they'll go for it again.
No, I think Monticello hasn't exhibited any any ability to move the ball in Clinton's defense. So I think this is a good call for Clinton to go the ball here. Let the kids know that they think they can move the ball on Monticello.
Their defensive line is hanging in there against our offensive line so far, though, in the early going. Sam's back to pass, looking for a receiver. Short pass, Parson. He's got the first down. Then he's run out of bounds near the 26-yard line. A nice, safe, short completion to Parson coming out of the backfield, and he was wide open. Easily got the first down to the 30 and then down to the 26-yard line before a trio of tacklers for Monticello knocked him out of bounds. First down for the Maroons just outside the 25-yard line of Monticello.
A nice play. Look, almost a screen without the blockers in front of him. Monticello got a little rush in there on Sam's, but that may have been by design to let Parson slip out of the backfield. And he did, and Sam's hit him nicely on the numbers on the run, and Matt had an easy time, picked up the first down and a couple of extra yards.
Maroons on their third drive of the ball game. They've scored one touchdown so far. Here's Parson again trying the middle. Stutter stepping a little bit and poking his head between a couple of tacklers and diving forward for about 4 yards. Inside the 25, and they'll give him to about the 23-yard line, maybe the 22. Gain of about 3, almost 4. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Maroons as they run time off the clock. We're inside 2 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. Clinton leading 6-0. Not having an easy time necessarily with this Monticello defense, but certainly controlling the ball. With split backfield this time. Carter will get the call right side. Oh, nice quick ankle tackle made by Monticello Matt Andrews. He's one of those seniors that's hung in there, 6'3", 200 pounds, and looked like Carter was going to be open and for some yardage, but he grabbed him around the ankles from behind and dropped him quickly for no gain.
An excellent tackle by Matt Andrews. Dive in there at the feet. That's the best place to tackle a runner, especially one like Carter, and drop Josh real quick.
Josh might have got a yard. It's 3rd, and we'll call it 6 now for the Maroons at the 22-yard line of Monticello. Sam's fakes the handoff, firing it down the left side, got an open man. Ben Helton, touchdown Maroons. Helton was wide open from his tight end position on the left-hand side, just curled outside and caught it at the goal line. And the Maroons have their second touchdown of the ball game as Sam's put it right at the belly. An easy catch for Helton, and the Maroons have their second touchdown of the ball game on a 22-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, and I believe the Clinton coaching staff deserves some credit there. I think they set that out beautifully. Ben Helton was in the same position the play before, and I think they ran the same fake. The cornerback bit a little bit. Helton wide open in the end zone all by himself, and Sam's did a nice job of putting it on the numbers.
They'll go for 2, and Carter's going to be dropped for a loss. That's been one of the biggest problems for the Maroons. They can't seem to convert after the touchdowns, but it hasn't hurt them so far this year. Carter's attempted run for the 2-point conversion stopped well short of the goal line. We'll take a break here. The touchdown came with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in the first quarter of play, and the Maroons lead 12-0. Back with the kickoff in a moment.
Hallmark. When you care enough, send the very best. 3 cards for a $3 promotion. Coupons available at the store. Offer good through October 31st. One-stop shopping and savings on all your office supply needs. Sales flyer available. Great bargains. New ideas to make your office more efficient. Locally owned and managed. Taking pride in living in Clinton. Supporting local organizations and programs such as this. Pain pills are a common thing with people who feel they have no place left to turn. Pills for your backaches, for that headache, pills for your sinuses. You've been to your doctor. He doesn't know what else to do, so you keep on taking pills. But pills don't have to be a part of your life, and neither does pain. Your backache or headache can be relieved without surgery and without drugs. At the Allen Chiropractic Health Clinic in Clinton, Dr. Harold Allen will diagnose the cause of your pain, and once you find the cause, you can usually find the cure. Pain is not normal. Something can be done about it. Call the Allen Chiropractic Health Clinic at 935-6842. We relieve pain.
Well, again, Cameron Mon, the running attack by the Maroons held down pretty good by Monticello. It took 2 pass plays, the short pass to Parson to keep the drive alive with the first down, and then the touchdown pass to get the Maroons another touchdown in this ball game. They've had to go to the air attack to score.
Yeah, I know Clinton would prefer to run the ball, but they are not at all afraid to let Nate Sams put it up in the air, and he's exhibited through the first 4 games of the season that they have plenty of reason to be confident in his abilities. That was a beautiful pass. And sometimes those ones that are wide open are really difficult to hit, but he did a nice job there.
Jeremy Hinn with a long boot to about the 10-yard line. They'll bring it up the middle, and diving across the 26-yard line on the return was Tom Dawson, their quarterback, who does the return job this time. And Monticello will start 1st and 10 Here late in the first quarter of play, trailing the Maroons 12-0 at about their own 26-yard line. Coming into the ball game, Nate Sams had completed just over 50% of his passes on the year, but for some touchdowns and, just overall some pretty good statistics for a sophomore through 3 ball games. And of course, he's helped himself here tonight.
Been tremendously effective at that position, and that's one of the big reasons Clinton's 3-0 right now.
Dawson running. He wants the option. His pitches bubble on the ground, and the Maroons, do they have it? I believe they do. Dawson waited too long to try to pitch it. When he finally did to Whitlock, Whitlock couldn't grab it cleanly. He almost had it for a moment, but it sprung loose from him, and the Maroons have recovered the football. Matt Parson, we understand, comes up with a football. The Maroons defense forced that turnover with instant pressure on Dawson and on Whitlock.
Yeah, that was a very unusual play to see. Looks like out of the shotgun, Monticello tries to run a little option right, and I would think that would be tough to get the timing down on that, and it didn't appear to be a very smoothly run play at all.
From the 22, 1st and 10 for the Maroons. They'll run it. Carter trying the left side. Has it cut it upfield, stays on his feet, gets inside at 20. Here's a flag on the play, however, and this one might come back. It's thrown toward the blocking out in front. Maroons have not been penalized too much this year. They've had a few holding calls against them in the previous ball games, but not too many. But now we've had at least 2 here tonight already, and that's more than what we've seen in the previous 3 ball games.
I tell you, I hope this holding isn't on Matt Parson, because he threw a great block on his man. He not only knocked the first guy off he got, but then he got around to getting a second guy. I don't think the holding was on Matt. I was watching him on that play. I guess it possibly could have been.
Well, it's against the Maroons nonetheless, according to the officials. So that run to the 18-yard line, a gain of about 4, will be negated by the penalty and push the Maroons back from, I guess, where the infraction occurred to about the, I guess it's just outside, or excuse me, just inside the 30-yard line, about the 29.5-yard line. So it'll be first down and what, 16 we'll call it for the Maroons. 1st and 16 from just inside the 30, about the 29-yard line. And we have just 9 seconds of clock running. Let's see if they get the ball off here before the final play of the first quarter, before time runs out. Down to 3, 2. Sams has the football. He'll try a quick pop to Nichols, and it's overset, and that was that hook and ladder play out of the backfield, because he was going to want to dump it off to Carter, and Carter might have had it open field to the end zone, but the pass was too high, and the Maroons come up empty on it. We'll take a break here. End of the first quarter play. The Maroons are leading by a score of 12-0.
Waiting for the 99-cent third of a pound double burger sale at Dairy Queen? Your time is now. Whenever we do this sale, we sell so many double burgers that we decided to give our friends and neighbors what they want. As long as you keep buying them, we'll keep selling them for 99 cents. That's our promise. We want to make you happy. And while you're visiting us at Dairy Queen, try our onion rings, breaded mushrooms, and best desserts in town.
All right, we've completed 1 quarter in the homecoming game, and the Maroons are up over the Sages 12-0 and have the ball deep in Monticello territory again. So looking very good through the first quarter. Statistically, the Maroons have dominated this ball game, no doubt about it.
Yeah, on the ground and in the air. I believe Monticello still has, no, I'm sorry, they have positive yardage on the ground, but that's only because of the punt, the kind of freak punt play that they ended up getting about 18 yards in that carry. But I got Carter with 64 yards already on 6 carries, and Parsons has added 22, and Sams has thrown for 49. So big production from the offensive unit here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they've keyed on Matt Parson and held him down, yet the Maroons have 2 touchdowns on the board and are leading in this ball game 12-0. On 2nd and 16 for the Maroons. They'll give it to Matt. He's got it opening up the middle this time. Dodges another man. Stays on his feet. He's inside the 20. Still on his feet. The 15, 10, and caught and brought down finally at the 8-yard line. But that is, well, so to speak, vintage Matt Parson type running. I don't know if you can call it vintage when he's a young man, just a senior in high school, but I mean, that's the type of running we see a lot out of Matt Parson. He's got the Maroons 1st and goal near the 8-yard line on that strong run.
Now, Matt does a great job of bouncing off of runners. You're not going to tackle Matt up high. You better get him down low. A couple guys on Monticello tried to get him around the shoulder pads, and, you know, he's not very tall, man, but he's got some weight on him, and Matt uses it well, and he uses leverage well, and it's going to be difficult to wrap your arms around his shoulders. They're pretty big.
About a 22-yard run. Now, the Maroons are using a timeout here. I'm not sure why they're having to use one. I think I'll just keep it here and see if we can pick up on something. The officials held up the game for a moment and appeared to be discussing something, I thought, with one of the Monticello players, and then the Maroons just elected to use a timeout. This is their 2nd timeout of the first half. Don't know if that'll be a key the latter portion of the 2nd quarter, but they will be down to just 1 timeout remaining here in the first half of play. Let's see. Let's do a little Walkman count here. I don't see that many out there. I'm disappointed in some of you folks here. I figured we'd have some radios on top of the heads here tonight. Who's wearing a Walkman? I see at least one down here. You're not going to give me a show. Put your hand in the air. No, I mean up high. You got to put your hands up high. Okay, well, real good turnout on the Walkmans. I guess everybody just wants to watch the game and listen to Kevin on the PA. Way to go, Kevin. Gee whiz. Oh, well, all of you that raised your hands at home, thank you very much. And, of course, we do have the people that are watching the television replay, and I know there's a lot of you out there, too, so I still feel okay about it. I'm not too insecure about it. It's 1st and goal for the Maroons at the 8-yard line. Out of the I formation, Sams will give it up. Parson, big opening right side, puts his head down as he gets inside the 5, and he's down to about the 1-yard line. He'll have a 2nd and goal. The Maroons will. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. A quick 7-yard gain. He makes it look easy as he plows down to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Clinton's been a running mat off the right side a lot tonight, I've noticed, and very effectively. And that play right there, I wouldn't be surprised to see Matt get the ball again, see if they can maybe punch in a touchdown for the senior here.
Looking for his first touchdown of the year. He's the back in the backfield, but Carter gets the call to the left side again, and Josh Carter's got another one. Josh Carter in for the touchdown, and the Maroons have their 3rd score of the ball game. They now lead 18-0. This occurring here early in the 2nd quarter of play. The clock officially has 11:16 to play before halftime. Not too much razzle-dazzle there, just a punch right to the left side of the line. Good blocking by the line. We want to talk about them as we get time here a little bit later on. Those guys on the offensive line doing the job and giving the hole to Josh Carter for him to get it in the end zone. Extra point attempt coming up here. Carter with the 2nd touchdown of the night, and they'll go for 2. I formation. There's a flag on it, and they're going to blow it dead before it gets off. Officials talking it over. And offsides against the Maroons. Now they'll get a chance to do it again, but from 5 yards deeper, I guess. You know, the Maroons have struggled with converting after touchdowns this year. We've gotten a few extra point kicks, but on 2-point tries, and we've had a bunch of them this year with the way this team is scoring points, we've converted very few times. It's very surprising the way we move the ball up and down the field, but when we go from 3 yards out for an extra point attempt, we struggle a bit.
Yeah, it is, but it's a tough play because you don't have a lot of field to work with when you're down there on the 3-yard line. You got 22 people in within about 25 yards of the playing field.
Let's see if Sams will throw. He's dropping back. He's looking for Nichols, looking at him. He throws it deep in the corner for Nichols. It's over his head and out of bounds. They had him well covered, and Nate really didn't look around for any other receivers. He had his eye on Ben the whole way, and then he had to throw it too deep. He wanted to keep it high so the big guy could go up and get it, but it was even over his head. So the lead remains 18 for the Maroons. We'll take time out with 11:16 to go in the 2nd quarter of play, and Clinton leading Monticello 18-0.
At Monocle's Pizza, we're introducing the 2 big pizza deals. Some deals give you 21 pieces, some 24. Monocle's 2 big deals gives you 64 pieces, all for $11.95. You get all of the traditional Monocle's quality spread over 2 large pizzas with 64 pieces for $11.95. Price is good for 1-topping pizzas. Additional toppings available at extra cost. Available carry-out only. Breadsticks and family salads also available for carry-out.
Maroons doing something they've done several times already in this ballgame, kicking off to Monticello again. Jeremy Hinton has it teed up at the 40. Early in the 2nd quarter of play, Clinton leads already 18-0. End over end kick. That'll be taken at about the 12-yard line, 15, 20-yard line. Dawson hit hard and brought down, and a flag will be thrown. And it might be thrown on the tackle, I'm not sure, but we want to give credit. A real hard hit by Ryan Connolly. But a flag thrown in the vicinity, and it's going to be a personal foul. Face mask called on the play. You know, from our vantage point, Ryan, he might have brushed the face mask. He just met him square up and might have hit him kind of across the front of the helmet, but I didn't think he grabbed hold.
I saw the arm come out, and usually, I don't know if they still call the old clothesline tackle, but used to be a penalty. I don't know if it still is.
Well, that was
looked very much like a clothesline type of tackle.
That was simply called a face mask, and of course, Chuck Nagel and Brian Knudsen, they want clarification on this. How is that a face mask? And I don't know if they're going to get any satisfaction here, but the 15-yard penalty gives the ball to Monticello out at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 at their own 38. Monticello has not been across midfield. They haven't even been close to midfield. I think this is the closest they've been. They'll run on 1st down, and not much of a gain. I believe that was Jeremy Shelmadine who got the call that time. He hasn't got a chance to handle the ball too much, and he only gets maybe a yard. A short yard, 2nd and a long 9 coming up. Early in the 2nd quarter of play, the Maroons have scored 3 touchdowns, a pair of 1-yard runs by Josh Carter, and an Nate Sams 22-yard pass play, a beauty to Ben Helton for the other score. No extra points, so it's 18-0 Clinton on 2nd down Monticello. They got to pop up the middle, and Shelmadine's got some running room this time, and he's going to be close to a 1st down as he's brought down near the 48-yard line, and I think he's got the 1st down. They'll give him a good spot. He's close to the about the 48.5-yard line in Monticello territory. A first down for the Sages.
Quick dive up the middle. Looked like he just broke the original line of scrimmage. I don't know if there was a misread there or what. And he found himself in the secondary all of a sudden. And unfortunately, one of the Clinton secondary guys had to make the tackle on him.
That defensive line has done a good job so far tonight, though, with the exception of maybe that one play there on first down and 10. They'll try to run again. Shelmadine tries the right side that time, and boy, is he thrown back. Let's see who was there. Parson was there around the ankles, and Helton came up high and threw him back on his back, and he's not getting up any too quick.
A big hit by Ben Helton there. He read it well, moved to his left a little bit, met him head on, and drove him back for a good tackle.
The linebacker is able to shoot the gaps there and make the tackle on the play behind Doug Hammer at the nose guard spot, the 180-pound senior, and the tackles of Doug Scott, 240 and a senior, and Andy Curley, 270 and a senior. The ends, Ben Nichols, 210 and a senior, and the smaller end, but has done a great job this year, Tom Meyer, 160 pounds and a senior. On second down and 10 from the 49, they'll get it in the Maroons' territory to about the 48-yard line on the run by Paul Whitlock, a gain of about 3. Third and 7 coming up for Monticello. The rest of the Maroons defense, while we have a chance, good secondary, an experienced one, at least 3 of the 4 very experienced, and seniors Chad Herzog, 140 pounds, Adam Long, 160 pounds at the corners, and the safety, Josh Carter, 165 pounds. And then the sophomore, who's done a great job the first 3 games, Bob Igens, 140 pounds and a sophomore. On third and 7 now. Dawson up under center on this series. Throwing it out here in the left flat. The catch is made, and looks like another first down as he's caught and thrown down quickly, but Blaine Fothery makes the catch. He's been their go-to guy so far through the air. He makes the catch. He's thrown down immediately, but he's very close to a first down, and I think they're going to stop the clock and measure here. Maroons had it covered closely. We saw one of the other Maroon defenders fall down as the pass was coming out here, but I don't think that's the reason why the pass catch was made. Fothery ran a good route, and Dawson put the throw right on the numbers.
Nice throw, and a good tackle by Adam Long there to prevent a longer game. Fothery had the momentum as he was running, but Adam wrapped him up around the waist and threw him back and kept him from getting any more forward progress.
Here's the measurement. They've got the first down. A little over half the length of the football. So they got the first down, and that's their second first down of this drive. So Monticello putting a little something together here. They're to the 41 of the Maroons. By far their deepest penetration here against the Maroons defense. It's coming about to, well, still pretty much in the early going of the second quarter. We're down to 8 minutes, 8:30 to go before halftime. Maroons leading 18-0, but Monticello trying to drive. Since they put their quarterback up under center, they're doing better. Dawson short drop. Quick pass out here. Almost intercepted, but dropped. Oh, my goodness. Josh Carter anticipated, stepped up in front of the intended receiver, Travis Butler, and had his hands on it. And if he had come up with that one cleanly and Butler wasn't able to hang on to his shirt, he would have been gone.
Carter very close to his third touchdown of the night there. Like you said, I think actually Carter may have overran the ball a little bit, and it got behind him and he couldn't quite lock on to it. But a good coverage by Josh there on that play. I think he read the quarterback's eyes.
Out of the I formation, Dawson on second and 10 from the 41 of the Maroons. Will give to the fullback, and no gain there. Stopped immediately at the line of scrimmage, Paul Whitlock. In the middle of the Maroons defense, dropping. Parson was there, Andy Curley was there, and Ben Helton combining on the tackle, and actually a loss of a yard on the play. Third and 11 coming up for the Sages.
I'll tell you what, Ben Helton's hitting as hard as anyone tonight. Again, he delivered a big hit that just dropped the running back backwards instead of not even standing him up. He's just flattening him back.
Yeah, Ben Helton, 185-pound senior linebacker, and of course Matt Parson, the other linebacker, 185 pounds and a senior. Ben, the taller of the two. They'll try to run it around the right side. Whitlock cuts it upfield now and stays on his feet. Finally goes down as the Maroons combine on him. Good pursuit by the Maroons. Bob Igens was the one that grabbed him around the ankles and held on until the help came. Tom Meyer came running a long way to help out on the play. Gain of about 5 or 6 yards on the play. We'll say 5. And at the 37 of the Maroons, it's fourth down and decision time for Monticello. This has been their best drive. You'd think they want to keep it alive, but it looks like they're going to punt the football to the Maroons, or at least make it look that way on 4th and 7.
Well, I think Clinton's moving well enough on Monticello that I think they want to make it as difficult as possible for Clinton's offense to sustain a drive. And you give Clinton, turn the ball over here on Clinton's 40, and it might not be as tough a drive for the Maroons.
Josh Scott from near midfield will send it to Carter. He drops it on the ground, goes to the 2, back to the 1. Now try to bring it upfield, and he will be dropped all the way back at the 1-yard line. Plus, there's a flag thrown on the play. And this may put the Maroons at about the half-yard line. If it goes against the Maroons, they're going to start very deep, it would appear, unless there was something against Monticello. One of the Maroons very slow getting up.
I think that's going to be a clip on Clinton. Yeah, it is.
Well, I thought it probably was.
The only fortunate thing about that is there's not much place to penalize them.
Right.
They'll be about on the 1, I suspect, and hopefully but I think that's what Monticello wanted to accomplish. I think they got a little more faith in their defense at this point than they do in their offense, and maybe their defense can make something good happen.
Tom Meyer came limping off the field on that play also. He was out front trying to make a block, and he is really favoring a leg here as he comes to the sideline and sits down on the bench behind the Maroons bench. We'll try to keep an eye on that situation. Where's that sideline reporter? Get Kevin Barlow down there to get a report on him. He's standing down there in the end zone watching the action. Well, hopefully Tom will be all right, be back in there. He's been a valuable man on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and we'll see if we can pick up a replacement for him in the lineup. He's been rotating with Doug Hammer on the offensive line, so we'll see if Doug stays in there all the way. That's how they run their plays in and out, though, where somebody else gets a chance to run in and out of there on the offensive line. Maroons, after the penalty, are at about the half-yard line, 1st and 10. Need to punch it out there. Sams is going to throw on 1st down. Lost it up for Nichols, but it was thrown too far to the inside, and good shoulder-to-shoulder coverage by Travis Butler. Butler looked like he actually had the better chance of getting to the football, but it goes incomplete out there about the 25-yard line.
Not a bad idea, though. Maybe loosens up Monticello's defense right here. Gets them thinking that Clinton's not afraid to throw the ball and throw it deep, and that spreads the field out for Clinton a little more, and maybe gives them a few more options on this play.
Ross Wanlin is in there now. The 5'10", 155-pound junior is taking over for Tom Meyer, and he's in there. Quarterback keeper. Sams will try to punch it out. He got it out near the 5-yard line right up the middle. Maroons offensive line with a good strong push, so that gets them away from the goal line, and we'll give them a 3rd down and about 6 to try to move it farther away from the goal line and keep the drive alive.
This is a kind of an important play here. I mean, it's 18-0 Clinton, but you don't want to do anything foolish here. Give Monticello a possible easy score. It'd be nice to see if Clinton could get a 1st down going here. 2
wide receivers to the right side in Nichols and Herzog, and Sams back to the right. Has some time, throws it to Herzog. He's at the 11 to the 15-yard line, 1st down. Boy, did you see Sams put some zip on that ball? I mean, Herzog was wide open on the quick curl out. He was standing at the 10-yard line. All he needed was 1 more yard after he made the catch, but Sams got it to him in such a hurry that he had time to run it 5 yards up the field before the defense could get to him.
Yeah, that's a real nice play, a real safe play, and high percentage. It's just a good call there on 3rd and 4 by the staff.
Gave him a 1st down out yardage, actually out to the 16-yard line is where the rule Herzog was knocked out of bounds. So the Maroons have a 1st down at their own 16-yard line. 5 minutes, 55 seconds ago in the 2nd quarter of play as we approach halftime, and we got a timeout on the field. What's this
It's like
about?
an equipment check or something for a Monticello player over there on the sideline. I don't know.
He's going to come out of the
I
ball
would think
game.
he'd have to come out of the game for just an equipment problem.
That's Matt Andrews, who made a good tackle on Josh Carter earlier in this ball game. I remember he knifed through and grabbed him around the ankles on a good defensive play. So he's out of there momentarily. Out of the I formation with 2 tight ends. On 1st down for the Maroons at their own 16, they'll give it to, I believe it was Parson, and it is. And boy, they're keying on him. They're gang tackling and keeping Parson under wraps pretty well in this ball game. Every yard he gets tonight has been a very, very hard-fought yard, and he only got a couple on that. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Maroons as he's out to about the 18 or 19-yard line in Maroons territory. A nice, long, time-consuming drive would be good here, though. They got plenty of time to move it downfield and get in position for another possible score. The Maroons are leading 18-0 over Monticello here in the 2nd quarter of play. Sams will roll out left. He wants to throw. He's under some pressure. Runs into another tackler. Gets away. Now he goes down. That's an incomplete pass, boys. I wish you'd give us a little signal here. They're going to rule him down. Going to rule him down all the way back at the 5-yard line, and there's a flag on the play also. These officials are watching that line play possibly closer than any we've had so far this year. We've had more holding against Monticello, huh? We've had more calls along the line of scrimmage on that type of thing, holding, than we've had in all the games, I think, previous combined so far. All right. Shoot that announcer. He got the crowd all excited, saying it was on Monticello. Don't look at me. I'm just a radio announcer. I didn't say that. He said it down there.
Casey Hicks had come into the game and was lined up at right tackle on that last play for the Maroons, and looks like Casey's going back in for another play here.
Well, they'll take the play, turn down the penalty, and it was a sack on Sams. They finally ruled it. As they said, he was down at the 5-yard line. Sams was throwing it as he went down, but they ruled it a sack all the way back to the 5-yard line. So the Maroons have 3rd down and about 20. They've got to get it out to the 25-yard line, and they'll just try to run the middle, and it won't get much. Nichols will have to punt it away from the end zone on 4th down here in a moment. Not much gain at all for the Maroons. Monticello's handled the run pretty well. It's been the passing of the Maroons combined with some running. I guess I shouldn't say that. The Maroons have picked up some yardage here, but the passes have been the plays that have kept drives alive and have put some points on the board in this ball game.
Exactly. I talked to Coach Beckwith for Monticello earlier in the week, and he said, you know, he thinks the way to beat Clinton is to stop their running game as best you can and make them pass it. And I think that's probably logical. It's easier said than done. And at times they've shown the ability to stop Clinton, and other times Clinton sprung some pretty big plays on him.
Maroons have been forced to use their third timeout here. Seemed to be some confusion in their huddle as they were preparing for this fourth down play. It's obviously got to be a punt by the Maroons out of the end zone. And they use a timeout. We'll keep it here. We've gotten a lot of breaks in this game already, meaning breaks for commercials. And, you know, something the Maroons, again, I always hesitate to say this, but the Maroons, again, have stayed away from the turnovers so far. We've gone almost 3.5 ball games this year, and the Maroons have had only a couple of turnovers. Have we fumbled a football away yet this year? I don't believe we have.
I don't think they've lost the fumble, no.
No, we
haven't. Just an interception.
We've had 2 interceptions now. We had one in the Olympia game in the fourth quarter where Nate tried to thread the needle, and then last week he was being bothered heavily under pressure when he threw one up for grabs late in the ball game there, and the Maroons pretty well had it in their hand by that time anyway. He lofted one up that was well short of his intended receiver that was intercepted, but the Maroons were deep in Warrensburg territory last week, so both those pass interceptions really weren't all that bad a situation for the Maroons, and that's been the only turnovers so far this year, and that's one of the reasons why they're 3-0.
It's going to sound cliche-ish, but, you know, turnovers beat you, and Monticello's had a lot, and they're 0-3.
They got everybody up on the line. Nobody's deep for Monticello. They're going for the block, and Nichols will get it out of there in plenty of time, and nobody's back to return this one. Let's hope it gets a good bounce. It does. It'll roll across midfield and trickle down at the 48-yard line. That was, the line of scrimmage was the 5, so that's a 47-yard kick from the line of scrimmage by Ben Nichols. They did a fine job on it. The line did their job, gave him plenty of time to boot it out there, even though they had 11 men up on the line, and we're going for a block. Monticello will have it. Pretty good field position, though, just short of midfield with 4:15 to go before halftime.
The coaches honored the Clinton punt team last week for their fine play. I named them the unit of the week. And right there, that's a big play. I mean, that gets your defense off on the right foot.
Dawson under center on 1st and 10 for Monticello from the 48-yard line of the Sages. He wants to run left, cuts it upfield, and he'll be stopped for no gain on the play as he finally cut it upfield. I think it was intended that way. He kind of looked back like he might want to hand off, but then he cut it upfield, and he had plenty of blockers out front, but the Maroons knifed through there, knocked him down for no gain. 2nd and 10 for the Sages. What a nice night again tonight for football here. We've had really good weather so far this year. And it was sprinkling right before game time, about 30 minutes, 45 minutes before game time. It was raining lightly, but the rain's gone away, so the crowd is enjoying a nice night for football. On 2nd and 10. Quick pass out here in the right flat, through the hands of the intended receiver, and the Maroons' Josh Carter, I believe, again, knifed in front of the intended receiver, Blaine Fothery, but the pass this time was thrown high enough that he didn't have a chance to pick it off, but that might have bothered Fothery enough to force him to miss that ball when he went up high for it.
Yeah, I was just watching Brad Earl come out of the game and Tommy Meyer going back in for him at defensive end. Earl getting some well-deserved time over there. It's he hasn't played as much this year as perhaps the staff would like him to play, but it's not. It's just the fact that he's backed up behind some seniors.
We got a lot of seniors on this ball club with a lot of experience. They'll try to run on 3rd down, and again, no gain. Meyer, he appears to be all right because he and Ben Helton combined on the tackle on Whitlock and dropped him for a loss of a yard on the play. Tom was really limping when he came off the field a few minutes ago, but he's back up to almost full speed there, it looked like, when he collaborated with Helton on that tackle.
I tell you what, Ben Helton's really impressing me tonight. He's making the read real quick, hitting the hole, not getting blocked, getting through the hole, and just making good, solid contact on Monticello runners.
See if the Maroons can set up a return here. We haven't had a real long return. Boy, that's a nice high kick, though. Finally comes down at the 21-yard line. They'll try to run it the right side. Carter doesn't have any blocking out there, and he will be stopped at the 30-yard line. The blockers went up the middle of the field, and we got another flag on the play.
Unfortunately, that's going to be a clip on, I believe, Chad Herzog. I saw him, and there's little doubt in my mind that it was a clip on Herzog there.
Boy, it is. A lot of yellow hankies tonight. Put those things away. I'm getting tired of seeing those yellow hankies out there. And it's slowing the game down. Homecoming crowd here, big crowd as let's just gaze out the window here for a second, Cameron. I tell you, the bleachers are packed. It's almost totally full here. Really, I guess we got a gap here in the middle because that's the M squad, and they're getting ready for their halftime performance. Still no reason why there's a gap there. And the people along the fence are all the way down past the end, and they are 4 or 5 people deep at least all the way along the fence toward the north end. And we've got a bunch down here at the south end, too. And then, of course, Monticello has a lot of people on the far side of the field, too. And that might be overflow Clinton people on the far side, too. And their bleachers filled up. They were kind of late getting here. First down for the Maroons. Matt Parson gets the call. Up the middle. Gets it out to about the 20-yard line. The Maroons had that penalty, as we mentioned, a clip that pushed them back. So they started at their own 15-yard line, 1st and 10. But that's about a 5-6-yard pickup. About 5. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Maroons. Think we'll just run out the clock here. We're down to about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go before halftime. If we spring one out here, maybe we'll go for it, huh?
I think they may even run one more play here before they decide what's the option to go.
See what kind of play they run out of a split backfield this time. And Sams will give it off at Carter. Tried the right side.
Carter was down.
And he got a couple more yards. They'll have a 3rd down. Oh, here's a late flag thrown well after the play. Some players were mixing it up out there after the play was well over. We were going to have, I think, a 3rd down and a couple, but we have an unsportsmanlike penalty called here. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Monticello.
The Monticello Purple Sages.
We saw somebody for the Maroons tumble over the pile after the play was dead, but that wasn't when the flag was thrown. It was still seconds later before the official threw a flag, and then they penalized Monticello, so the Maroons get a 1st down, and that helps your decision making. You know, should we go for something here? Well, we're out to the 38-yard line. Let's push forward a little bit now. Minute 56 on the clock before halftime.
I think this would be a good opportunity for Clinton to get their hurry-up offense. I don't know how much they got to use it last week against Warrensburg, but I don't think they used it too much in the previous 2 weeks.
Well, Parson will run it on the ground. He finds an opening, puts his head down, runs over a couple of men. He's got one man to beat, and that man grabs him around the ankles and brings him down, but not until he gets into Monticello territory to the 47-yard line. A saving tackle by Jeremy Shelmadine, I believe it was, who grabbed him around the ankles at the 47 of Monticello. And Maroons are up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry.
Yeah, Matt just put his head down, ran over 2 guys, and he's the one who stayed up. The other 2 guys fell down. Great run by Matt.
He sent him sprawling. Now they got trips to the left side, one lone back. There's a flag on the play, and the pass is thrown at the official and incomplete. What's the penalty? I don't think the Maroons were set up right when they started this play. Stops the clock. A minute 36 to go before halftime. Preliminary signal, procedure, Maroons.
Procedure call against the Maroons.
5-yard penalty will put him back into Maroon territory to the 47-yard line. Or maybe the 48. Well, they're going to talk it over with the captain first, and we'll wait for a decision by Big Matt Andrews of Monticello. Boys, Sages have had years and years and years of good football, it seems like, the last several years. Last time the Maroons beat the Sages was 1986 over at their place, 6-0. Maroons on the 5-yard penalty at 1st and 15. And Parson right up the middle has a man riding his back as Parson picks up the 5 penalty yards. They're back to the 47 of Monticello, but that keeps the clock moving. And the Maroons have no timeouts remaining, by the way. Keep that in mind. They burned all 3 timeouts during the first half. So they got to keep it moving. 2nd and 10 now at the Monticello 47. Split backfield, 1 wide receiver each way. Quick pop over the middle to Nichols. He'll give it. Oh, and a lateral to Carter. Hook and ladder. Carter's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Maroons. That was a very close lateral to being a forward pass, but the officials say it was clean. There's no flag on the play, and it's a touchdown on the hook and ladder by the Maroons. 47 yards for the score, and the Maroons now lead 24-0. The Maroons have used that play in the past, in past years, and they've looked for it a couple times this year, including earlier in this game. It looked like they were trying to go to that play. This time they finally pulled it off. Monticello had 2 men in the vicinity, 1 on each one of the players involved, Nichols and Carter. Nichols made the catch and then gave it to Carter. Here's the try for the 2-point conversion now. They'll run it. Parson up the middle. No, excuse me, Sam's keeping it, and he takes it in. The option right, and I thought initially that Parson had it up the middle, but instead Sam's kept it, got it outside, and punches it in the end zone. The score comes with 1 minute and 6 seconds to go before halftime as we'll take a break. The Maroons get 8 more points on the board, and they now lead 26-0.
Are you paying too much in taxes? Is a tax increase in your future? Edward D. Jones & Company can show you how to protect your hard-earned income with insured tax-free bonds, tax-free mutual funds, tax-advantaged IRAs, and more. When you're ready for some tax relief, give us a call. Edward D. Jones & Company, member NYSE and SIPC.
Well, the Maroons decided to go for the points, and they came up with a big play. I tell you, Nichols made that catch, and he almost couldn't thread the needle on the lateral to Carter. And again, like I said, that was very close to being a forward lateral. It was just enough to qualify as a legal lateral. And Carter was able to pull it on, and he was pull it in, and he was off to the races. Let's cover the kickoff here real quick. Monticello will take it about their own 20 and bring it up the middle and down at about the 30-yard line. But why don't you give us your assessment of that play? The Maroons were able to pull it off and get the points on the board.
Yeah, Clinton's shown it a couple times this year. It's been effective. And again, like you said, Larry, that was very close to forward lateral. That was more like a little basketball pass, which, of course, Ben's going to be very good at. It's more of just a little flip more than a lateral. And nicely done, because it was semi-covered by Monticello, but
it really was.
Took a good pitch by Nichols. I think that was the key to the play there. It worked nicely, and it's a nice way to score with no timeouts left.
And Carter showed his speed. He was off and flying down the sideline, and there was no way anybody was going to catch him from behind. First down running play by Monticello is for no gain, 2nd and 10. And they're going to let this clock run out here. 30 seconds to go. So that goes as a 47-yard play for the Maroons. Nichols, who laterals to Carter after making a catch, and the Maroons get the score. 2-point conversion run was by Nate Sams. Doug Hammer's got a problem with the helmet, and he's going to come out of the ball game, and that'll give Frankie Russell a chance to get some action here. So Frankie comes into the left and will replace Doug Hammer at the guard spot. Frankie was one of our 2 players featured at halftime on TV. The seniors profiles, and we'll have 2 more coming up for you here very shortly. We'll have those senior profiles, so stay with us. Option right, Dawson cuts it upfield and gets it across the 35 to 35. That may be our play of the half. Down to 7 seconds. It's been a great first half for the Maroons in the homecoming game. And quite frankly, we expect hopefully to continue the same way. Oh, Monticello took a timeout. Monticello stopped the clock with 2 seconds here. Monticello says, hey, we're not ready to quit yet. I tell you, it's one thing I've noticed out there. Their team has kept their heads held high throughout the first half, even when they were down 18-0. I noticed their players were still very active going out there. It's below the Monticello football program the last years.
Absolutely, came out. And that could be a little bit of frustration and a little bit of hustle. It's probably hustle on the part of the.
Our first football profile about senior Doug Scott. Doug, number 53, is a 6-foot, 240-pound returning letterman on the Clinton High School football team this season. Doug is seeing a lot of playing time this season as a defensive tackle. He's an aggressive hitter with an eye for the ball player. The Clinton Maroon football team is having an incredible '93 season, and Doug is an instrumental part of that success. Head coach Chuck Nagel says Doug's endurance and enthusiasm really shine through on the field.
Doug Scott played defensive tackle for us last year. He's a returning letterman, and Kyle was too, by the way. Doug started off the season with high blood pressure problems, so he missed a few practices. So at the time we're taping, he's not necessarily a defensive starter for us, but we're sure that he's going to rotate in, and he's got some good experience that should help us out.
We congratulate Doug Scott on a super football record this season and hope it continues.
Well, a great first half of play for the Clinton Maroons. They lead here at halftime by a score of 26-0 over the Monticello Sages. Maroons have used a good combination of running and passing and a little trickery to put these points on the board. Has been an entertaining first half of play. For those of you watching this replay on TV, on Clinton Cable TV Channel 7, we're going to have a chance, I think, very shortly to see the Clinton Community High School Band come on the field and perform. So a little bit while we're recapping this first half of play, we'll be viewing, I think, the Clinton High School Band. Cameron Mon, a look at the statistics, which have got to be heavily in the Maroons' favor, no doubt about it. Is that an understatement or what?
Yeah, I think so. Again, you know, sound like a broken record week after week, but Clinton spreading.
You sound like more than a broken record sometimes,
hey,
Cameron.
no.
Sorry about that.
Clinton spreading the ball out, a lot of people touching it, moving it on the ground for him. Let's quickly go over the
CD, possibly.
go over the rushing stats. I got Josh Carter with 8 carries for 67 yards and 3 scores. I'll have to check the stats on Carter. I believe he's credited with about a 45-yard run on that play. If that's the case, he'll have considerably more than 67 yards. Matt Parson, I got him with 13 carries, 77 very hard-earned runs, hard-earned yards. As Larry has said, they're keying on him, and it's Matt's had some tough carries here.
Haven't we gone through this debate before on who gets the yardage? on the hook and ladder.
I believe. Does he not? It's a running play, is it not?
The Warrensburg ball game last year, I think we went through this debate because
Yeah.
right before halftime, we had the same type of play. I think Nichols caught the pass. He lateraled to Mannix. Mannix ran it in, and I don't think we ever really officially decided what way that should go.
I'm almost certain it'd be a run. Carter gets credit for a run, and Nichols gets credit for a catch
But it was a
of
pass
about
play.
3 or 5 yards.
It was a pass play.
But he ran the ball. He didn't.
They run the ball after every time they catch the pass. That's silly.
Well, I think all laterals are considered runs, though, are they not? We'll have to check on that.
A lateral is considered a lateral.
The coaching staff wasn't prepared to answer that question last year, I remember. And
where's Kevin Barlow when we need him? He's the man that should be down there researching this and getting us answers. All right.
Anyway, let's keep going. Chad Herzog, 1 carry, 8 yards. Nice run on a misdirection play for Chad. And Nate Sams, 4 carries, -3 yards, but most of those came on a sack there late in the second quarter. Passing-wise, Sams has been very accurate tonight. I got him for a 5 for 8 performance for 64 yards. Again, we're not sure. There could be an extra 40, 45 tacked onto that total.
I think so.
What do you get, Carter, 45-yard reception there?
I don't know. I think it should be passing yards,
If someone could explain the rule to me, that'd be fine. I'm not sure in the score.
I tell you what, we'll get the IHSA on the line here in a
he's
second.
got at least 64 yards. We'll put it that way.
All right, that's good.
Let's break down the receiving real quick. Nichols, 2 catches, 24 yards. We're pretty sure of that. Parson, 1 catch, 8 yards. That was a nice play to make a first down. Ben Helton, the 20-yard touchdown pass reception from Sams in the first quarter, and Herzog's got 1 catch for 12 yards. Again, a big play for the Maroons. You want to go over the Monticello stats real quick, Larry?
Yeah, it won't take very long, will it?
No. No, it certainly won't. Let me get their roster in front of me. Number 22 is Whitlock. He had 6 carries for 4 yards. Dawson, the quarterback, 4 carries for -1 yard. He almost got up to 0 there. The punter actually leads the team. Josh Scott got about an 18-yard scamper there on that play. And Jeremy Shelmadine, 4 carries, 11 yards. Dawson, 2 for 6 through the air for 11 yards. Both catches by Blaine Fothery for 11 yards.
Scoring plays real quick for the Maroons. Midway through the first quarter play, Josh Carter, 1-yard run. The kick for the extra point, no good. 104.
Scope pours out.
Sam's a 22-yard touchdown pass to Ben Helton. The run for the 2 extra points, no good after that one. 12-0 at the end of the first quarter for the Maroons. Early in the second quarter play, again, Carter, a 1-yard run for the touchdown. They went for 2 again and came up short on the run. 18-0 Maroons. And then with just 1:16 to go, the hook and ladder play, 47 yards. Nichols lateraling to Carter. I don't care how you put it down the stats. It's a 47-yard touchdown pass play for the Maroons. They run for the 2-point conversion by Sams. That 8 points gives the Maroons a halftime lead of 26-0. I want to mention one other thing. We've had great video replays on TV. We've put together, I think, some terrific video here from these ball games, the first 3 games of the year. I know this last ball game last week against Warrensburg, we had some problems with the replay. The picture shaking a little bit, breaking up a little bit. That was not the actual videotaping on site, but that was the player that is being used, the replay back, and we're working on getting that straightened out. So hopefully we'll have that squared away by the time you're viewing this game, the Monticello ball game. But I just want to point out our crew here at the site, Phil and Maria Vandiver, who videotape these ball games, are coming up with some great pictures, doing a great job, and their production work has been fantastic. And we just need to get the video player that's playing back things a little straightened out, and then we'll have some great pictures for you on the replay too. Hope you've enjoyed it. Here at halftime of our broadcast on the radio, we're going to take a break and have another one of those academic top students at Clinton High School for you in just a moment. In the meantime, we're going to take a break as the Clinton High School band performing here at halftime for the homecoming crowd, and be back with second half action on TV very shortly. So stay with us with the halftime score: Clinton 26, Monticello nothing.
And now from the home office in Clinton, Illinois, here are the top 10 reasons for shopping Dave's Food Basket. Number 10, people who like to wear sunglasses all the time don't mind the sparkling clean store and bright lighting. Number 9, two-way traffic is allowed and encouraged in all aisles. Number 8, even the owner shops there. Number 7, no charge for standing in front of store bakery and smelling fresh breads baking. Number 6, checkers are confused by manufacturer coupons of 50 cents or less, so they double them every day. Number 5, Customers don't have to memorize employees' names because they're easily identified by name tags. Number 4, customers have found specials and everyday prices so low, they've asked for directions home, thinking they must have shopped out of town. Number 3, ads in Monday's newspaper have color pictures and have been known to convince parakeets to shop here. Number 2, an easy and inexpensive way out of the doghouse with your spouse can be found in the floral department. And the number 1 reason for shopping Dave's Food Basket, we can be silly or even nutty at times, but Dave's Food Basket has friendly people, tremendous variety, convenience, and the lowest prices. Open 6 a.m. till 11 p.m. 7 days a week. And a proud sponsor of the Clinton Maroons.
Prescription Shop is sponsoring our final football profile for the evening. This time we are highlighting senior Kyle Bourne, number 52. This returning letterman is 6'2", 225 pounds. He is one dedicated lineman with enough drive on the field for 2 players. Kyle is an offensive center and a defensive tackle, which means he does double time on both sides of the ball. This requires that he give 200% in each game. Motivation is the key to results in Kyle's positions, and he delivers every Friday night. Head coach Chuck Nagel says Kyle put in extra hours gearing up for this football season, and it shows.
Kyle Bourne is our center. He played a little bit at the end of the year. He started defensive tackle. Basically, he will be a defensive tackle for us this year, but offensively, he's our center. Put a lot of work in over the summer and really improved himself.
Kyle's desire to play football this season is one very important contributing factor to the Maroons' success.
Second half kickoff.
All right, let's get set for second half action here at Clinton High School. The Maroons will be kicking off to Monticello to start the second half of play, leading 26-0. And Jeremy Hinton has it teed up at his own 40. And the Maroons break huddle and will move up to the 40-yard line to get set to kick this one off here the second half of play. Maroons have stayed healthy again during the course of this first half. We saw Tom Meyer go down for a little bit, but he was back in there, so they seem to be coming through pretty healthy again so far in this first half. Good long end over and kick taken at about the 17-yard line by one of the up men for Monticello, Ryan Ritter, and he is driven back once he gets close to the 30-yard line, just across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Monticello will start there 1st and 10. Their offense got some first downs, especially late during that first half of play. But they've had a tough time moving it a whole lot against the Maroons. And, of course, the Maroons looking for their first shutout of the year. They gave up, 6 to Olympia. They gave up 7 to Tolona Unity. And, of course, Warrensburg moved the ball up and down the field and scored 20 against us last week. But Monticello so far shut out.
Of the 3 games I've seen so far this season, this has been by far the most efficient their defense has looked so far.
Second back gets the call, and it's Whitlock this time.
Good read by Items. He's got good speed in the secondary back there and came up and made a good ankle tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle, then Whitlock maybe gets around the corner for a few extra yards.
Bob impressed before the season began, earned himself a starting spot, and he's staying right in there. He continues to keep the coaches happy with his play defensively. On 2nd down and 8, they're going to pass. Quick pass over the middle, and Ben Helton's there again. Ben's having a fantastic game tonight. He may be the defensive player of the ball game, and there's a lot of guys that deserve that type of title, but he's certainly had his name in there a lot, not only on making tackles and some jarring tackles, but making defensive plays like that one and the one that ended the first half of play when he almost intercepted the final pass of the half.
Yeah, 2 passes defensed already, and like you said, 3 or 4 really super solid hits, plus he's been in on a lot of other tackles. Ben's been all over the field tonight from that linebacker spot.
3rd and 8, Dawson under center. Tight eye formation behind him. And he takes the snap, fakes the handoff the fullback, looking over the middle, pops it over the middle, and a nice catch made, and a first down out near midfield. Nice cradled in catch by the Monticello receiver on the play who just came in there, Joe Keith. He's a senior, 5'9", 156 pounds, and that's not a bad pass at all by Dawson. He put it right in there where Keith was able to cradle it in, and I think it was Parson that might have had coverage on him as he came out of there. I'm not sure, but one of those guys was right with him, and they thread the needle. Were able to thread the needle and get the first down to midfield. So Monticello gets their first down here on the opening drive of the second half. First down of the second half, we say. And now the Maroons charge across the line of scrimmage. Are drawn offside. So Monticello you know, they must have gone into the locker room at halftime and said, guys, forget the score. It's 0-0. Let's come out and see what we can do in the second half. And they've gotten off to a good start.
Yeah, to Monticello's credit, they look pumped up. I mean, it's hard to see teams that are down 26 points that have come out this pumped up, but maybe they got a good inspiration speech there at halftime. They look really, really pumped up, and Clinton's going to have to wake up here pretty soon if they want to stop this drive.
5-yard penalty to the 45 of the Maroons. 1st and 5, and no gain there. In there in a hurry is Scott to drop him. Doug Scott nails him behind the line of scrimmage and drops him for a 2-yard loss on the play. 2nd and 7 coming up, and boy, he was through there and in a flash to make the tackle.
One of Doug Scott's greatest strengths is he is super quick for the first 5 yards. I mean, he's just gonna get in some gaps there in the first 5 yards. After the first 5 yards, the advantage is a little neutralized. He's not the fastest player on the team, but he's got that first quick step, and that right there made the big play for Clinton.
Doug's a senior. He's 6 foot tall, 240 pounds, out of the I formation on 2nd and 7. They'll try to bring the man around the other way, and somebody made a good play from the end, I think. Well, that was Doug's. Was that Hammer, I believe, from his nose guard? It pushed his man back, or was it Meyer? They were both in that vicinity, but somebody forced that play to turn inside when they didn't want it to go inside and dropped him for a big loss all the way back to the 45-yard line. I thought it might be Meyer from his end spot, and then I saw Hammer in there from his nose guard, too, in the vicinity.
Well, Meyer makes the play there. He stays at home. He has a blocker on him, and he still keeps the play contained and pushes it inside, and even gets in on the tackle. Excellent read by Tommy Meyer there. Now, Doug Hammer did get the good penetration. It was a slow developing play, and that allowed Doug to get in there and make it a big loss for Monticello.
You know, Meyer's a surprising player to me from that end spot. He only weighs 160 pounds, but he plays like a much bigger man on the line. And we got a few video clips of him isolated at halftime of the ballgame last week on his senior profile, and you saw him playing off blockers and making tackles. He looks good out there. On 3rd down and 15, they're going to try to pass again. He's rolling out left under some pressure, cuts it upfield, gets past a couple of men, but Igems grabs him and brings him down at the 50, 10 yards short of the 1st down. Helton was there to help out on the play, and Doug Scott in the vicinity also. Igems made the tackle, however. It's 4th down and 10 for Monticello at midfield. This drive that picked up 1 first down, though, is foiled apparently, and Monticello will give the ball to the Maroons here early in the 3rd quarter of play. Maroons leading 26-0. We played about 3.5 minutes of the 3rd quarter. And back to kick the ball away again in this ball game is Josh Scott. It's over his head. He'll go back and try to pick it up at the 25. Now he'll try to run with it. Maroons under pursuit. Nichols diving for him, can't get him. Helton after him, trips him up, and he'll go down at the 32-yard line. A bad snap from center that he had to go back and pick up. He was able to bring it back up the field, but not till the Maroons were able to bring him down at the 34-yard line and stop him, of course, well short of the 1st down marker, like by about 30-some yards. So the Maroons will take over on downs. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the Monticello 34-yard line is where they'll spot the football. And that's a big break for the Maroons, even though they're leading by 26-0. Another break goes their way.
Yeah, quite a snap there. I mean, that was considerably over his head, not just a little ways. And
if they had Ben
when you
Nichols,
got ends like Ben Nichols and I believe Brad Earl's the end on the other side, clamping down on you, it's going to be tough to get around there for a punter.
Now, if they had Ben Nichols, they would have been able to corral that and get the punt away. Racing to get around the corners, Ryan Conley in the ballgame, gets upfield. There's a flag on the play, stays on his feet. 10, 5. He's in the end zone, but there's a flag on the play. That was a nice run by Ryan Conley, but thrown out here in the middle of the field is a penalty flag, and it's a hold against the Maroons. I tell you what, I cannot believe that the Maroons have not done some of the same things in the previous 3 ball games. Maybe, I mean, it's just hard to believe that all of a sudden we're deciding to hold here tonight. I think maybe they've gotten away with some of these blocks from previous games, and now the officials calling things, this particular crew we've got tonight, calling things a little differently, a little tighter here tonight. They call the holding penalty and the touchdown coming back. You're kind of making a face like you don't necessarily totally agree with that.
Well,
What's your feeling?
That could be the case. It could also be Monticello's defensive line could be giving them some problems, and when you're making some
true.
penetration there, you got to do some things you don't normally want to do. You're right too. It could be that too, Larry. It could be a different officiating crew.
First and 15.
They've had an unusual amount of penalties here, holding-wise.
Short pass to Parson on 1st and 15. He's got an opening, cuts it up the middle. He's at the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. That didn't look like they would go for much, but Parson was able to outrun one man, and then he had an opening up the middle for a while. Got it down to the 27-yard line. That penalty on the hold negated a terrific run by Ryan Conley. He had to run for his life to get around the right corner, and then he hurdled a man and brushed off another guy, and he was off to the races and outran everybody, being tackled just short of the goal line, but diving in the end zone for what looked like a touchdown, but called back by the penalty, but it was nice to see Ryan in there with a great run. He's out of there right now. Parson in there along with Carter, and Parson gets a call up the middle, and they may have the first down anyway. After the penalty, they had a 1st and 15. They look like they're very close to a first down. We'll see how they spot the football. First down at the 23-yard line on 2 runs. Well, actually a pass play to Parson and then a run by Parson.
Yeah, going back to Ryan Connolly's run, he's been running a lot harder in practice lately. The coaches have mentioned it several times to him, and right there, that was a good hard run, and that's what they want to see out of Ryan Connolly. He just ran with all he had, and good things are going to happen with his speed.
He's in there tailback now. They'll pitch it and give it to him again. He cuts it upfield, trying to run behind his blocking, and this time they're able to play off the block of Parson and get to him. 3-yard gain for Ryan Connolly to the 20-yard line. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Maroons. He couldn't quite get the block out front he needed to pop him loose, but they're going to give him a chance with his quickness. He's a junior, and he only weighs 155 pounds, and he's got some wheels underneath him. They're going to give him a chance to see if he can spring some long runs here with his kind of breakaway speed.
This is a great opportunity for him to get some experience in a game where you know, the outcome's decided, but, you know, it's still, you know, Monticello's got their first-team defense in there, and this will be a good experience for Ryan, and he's making the best of it so far.
They'll give the Parson this time. He runs into a couple of men, but they are able to hang on to him and bring him down after he gets to the 19-yard line. Good strong tackle by Joe Keith. Keith's only 5'9", 156 pounds, but he stayed with the bigger Parson, who may be the same height or actually a little shorter, but weighs in at close to 190 pounds, and made a good strong tackle on him after a very short game. 3rd down and about. Still 7 to go for a first down. Conley comes out. I imagine we got Carter back in there at the tailback spot. We see Herzog going to the slot on the left side. Double tight end formation there with Helton and Nichols. I formation in the backfield. Sam's running left on the option. We'll keep it up the middle. He's got first down yardage, stays on his feet, gets it inside the 10-yard line. He almost broke it loose for a touchdown like he did against Warrensburg a couple times, but somebody held on to him and drug him down just inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal from the Maroons. 1st and goal from inside the 10 near the 9.
Yeah, Clinton uses the option very wisely, in my opinion. They don't run it a lot. It's not like an everyday kind of play for them. You almost forget they run the option after a while, and then, you know, someone with Nate Sams' speed gets around the corner like that, that'll wake the defense up real quick.
Again, Herzog lines up in that slot, this time on the right side. Parson up the middle, dives inside the 5. He's down to the 3-yard line. A quick dive play for 6 for the Maroons, down to the 3-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal from right about the 3-yard line for the Maroons. The Maroons looking to burst over 30 points in the ballgame. They're 26 right now, 26-0. As we approach the midway point here, we're actually inside the midway point, down to 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter of play. Doug Hammer runs that play in from the sideline. As you see him join the team now in their huddle, number 68. For those of you watching the video replay, again, those of you listening on the radio, we'll give you those times that you can see the game on TV on Clinton Cable TV Channel 7 in just a moment. Split backfield, 2 wide receivers for Sams. He'll give it Parson up the middle, touchdown. Parson tried the right side, found a nice big hole, put his head down, and tumbled into the end zone with another Maroon touchdown, their 5th touchdown of the ball game, and there's the first touchdown of the year for Matt Parson. A 3-yard run for Matt. I'm glad to see him get some points on the board individually here, even though it's a team sport. He's very happy with the way the team is doing. And Carl Kortz is going to get a chance to try the extra point kick. We've seen Jeremy Hinton all this year. This will be the first try in a game situation that I can recall so far this year for the junior kicker, Carl Kortz, as you mentioned, also a cross-country runner.
Yeah, again, there's little drop-off. This is part of Clinton's depth this year. Kortz and Hinton, both of them very fine kickers, and Clinton won't hesitate to go with either one of them this year.
Good, strong kick by Carl, and it is good. He could have nailed that one from 25 yards out at least. So the Maroons get an extra point on the board after the touchdown run of 3 yards by Matt Parson. We'll take a break. 4:41 to play in the 3rd quarter play. Clinton well in control over Monticello, 33-0.
Things are happening on Mr. Lincoln Square in downtown Clinton. Take a look at all the new stores. Gathering Place, Craze Ceramics and Gifts, Woodland Art Studio, as well as the familiar ones like Graves Stationaries, Buck Appliance, and Harris TV. Come downtown and fill all your needs, from appliances to cards to office supplies to clothing to insurance, pharmaceuticals, and that unique gift item. Shop downtown Clinton for fast, friendly service and competitive prices. Watkins Jewelry, 600 West Side Square in Clinton, would like to invite you to visit their store and see for yourself their fine selection of gold jewelry, watches, clocks, and diamond jewelry. Give a gift that keeps on giving. Quality jewelry. Watkins Fine Repair Department will repair your worn or broken jewelry, watches, or clocks, modern or antique, while doing fine quality work at an affordable price. Visit Jerry, Marilyn, or Steve at Watkins Jewelry, 600 West Side Square in Clinton. House calls available for larger grandfather clocks. Call 217-935-4583. It's 1:47 on a Thursday afternoon, and you need to get to the bank. Why worry? The John Warner Bank lobby is open until 3 p.m. every day during the week, including Thursday afternoons. And for those of you who find 3 a little early and need to see us before our Friday and Saturday weekend hours, our drive-up is there for you every Monday through Friday evening until 6 p.m.
Monticello's return by Josh Scott returned out to about the 33-yard line, and that's where Monticello will try it again. 1st and 10 from their own 33. See if they have any changes out there. Looks like Dawson's still in there at quarterback. The young sophomore, Todd Dawson, number 12, will be under center out of the I formation. With Whitlock at the tailback spot, we see him anyway in there. It will fake to the fullback, then the pitch to Whitlock. Gets by a man. That was up for grabs for a moment as Josh Carter was in there and almost got to Whitlock the same time the ball got to him, but he was able to stay with it, Whitlock did, and get about 1.5 yards on the play before he was brought down. He gets it out to the 34-yard line. That pitch by the sophomore tailback was kind of tumbling through the air, and Carter was there almost to take the ball away.
Yeah, I think Josh may have had the same thoughts all the fans in the stands did.
Did you hear the
big
groan?
Collective ooh?
Yeah, the groan from the crowd.
Was up there in the air pretty good, and I think Carter may have had some thoughts about it, but it would have been a tough play.
2nd and 9. Wide receivers both sides. I formation. Short drop. Now he'll fade out to the right and fire deep downfield. He overshot his man. Can Adam Long get an interception? He does. At the 35. Back to the 40. 45. Got some blockers out front. Across midfield. Still on his feet as he almost fell down. Goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Adam Long with the interception and a return of about 30 yards. And the Maroons have it back at the 45 of Monticello after the return by the senior cornerback, Adam Long. Really, the throw was overthrown, and Steve Long up on top with the camera, I think got some good videotape of his son making that interception there. Some of the fans in the crowd in front of us looking up there. Now he's going to be a little worried because his son's not getting up too quick. Adam's a little slow getting up in front of the Monticello bench.
Over there on the sideline by several Monticello tacklers, not just one. Well defense pass by Adam, of course. If you're going to get an interception, they usually are. He knew where his man was, knew where the quarterback was, and played them both very well, and just got under that ball that Dawson aired out pretty good. But again, Long played it well. Let's just hope he's all right. I do know he got hit very hard by several people.
I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. He's up in a sitting position now on the far side of the field. So I feel pretty confident he'll be all right. We haven't had too many pass interceptions this year. That's one of the few, if about the only one we've had this year. Adams back up on his feet. He's even jogging a little bit. He looks just a little wobbly, but he's getting stronger as he comes across the field. He's going to be all right, and the crowd gives him a well-deserved hand.
Nice return by Adam, too. I mean,
yeah, it was.
You don't forget, he picked up 25 yards in that return before getting knocked out of bounds or tackled on the sideline.
His teammates out there, those guys, those other secondary guys and linebackers, they turned into good offensive linemen in front of him real quick, too, when they saw that he had the interception. So timeout taken here, so we'll take a quick timeout also. There's still a little over a quarter to go in this ball game. 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the third. The Maroons leading 33-0. Back with more third quarter action in a moment.
Gibson Ace Hardware, your hometown store with national buying power. Friendly customer service, quality selection, and competitive prices makes Ace the place for you. We're proud of our Clinton schools and happy to sponsor this sports event.
And we're going to see some reserves get some playing time now here, so we'll try to pick some of these kids up for you as they break huddle and start play again. Maroons offense up there. It looks like Sams is still in there at the quarterback spot, and we'll check the running backs in a moment as they're going to get some running time. That's Ryan Conley to the left side, a quick 9 yards. The other back in the ball game is Jeff Wilson, a 5'10", 165-pound junior for the Maroons, is in there. Here's the play coming in from the sideline from Lance Taylor. I made a mistake last week. Yeah, I remember these old-time announcers when I was in high school. They'd say the older brother's name once in a while when it was actually a younger brother. I did it last week. Am I getting that old? I said Rob Taylor last week, and it was Lance. I felt so bad when I saw the television replay. Well, I didn't feel that bad, but here's a penalty. But I felt a little stupid, actually, that I said Rob instead of Lance. But Lance is in there right now. He brought the play in from the sideline, and then as the play unfolded, we had a penalty. And it's against the Maroons. Maroons are at the 31-yard line of Monticello after the pass interception and the first down run of Conley, but it's going to come back 5 yards. To the 36-yard line, it'll be second down and about 6 for the Maroons, close to 7. We'll call it 2nd and 6. Got a wide receiver coming to the near side of the field. That's Bob Igems, I believe, that comes out wide to the right side. The safety getting some offensive time now. Maroons will run it, and very little gain. Chopped down at the line of scrimmage was, I'm pretty sure that was Jeff Wilson. Let's see as he gets back up. It was. Who else do we have in there, Cameron? I see Brad Earl's back in there at one of those end positions.
I'm having trouble picking up some of the linemen's numbers. I see Billy Huffman's playing the right tackle over
Big Bill. He's 6'1", 245, a junior.
Yeah, I believe I saw Wiley Schott in there, too, although I'm not positive he's in there right now.
I thought I saw Wiley not in uniform tonight before the ball game. Here's Ryan Conley. Ryan Conley up the middle has picked up about 3 yards, and it's 4th down and a 1 or 2 to go for the Maroons. Is that right? Is it 4th down? I thought we wouldn't have a loss of down there. Do we have a loss of down?
Travis Cornwell in on the line for Clinton. I've got his number over there.
Here comes Ryan Black into the ball game with the play from the sideline. They've got it on the scoreboard, 4th and 2. The Maroons are at the 32-yard line. And Ryan Schumacher is in at quarterback, and Ryan's not wearing 9 like he was over at Unity. He's wearing 32 at the quarterback spot. He might keep it here. No, he'll hand it off. Maroons will try the right side. They're going to be stopped short of the first down. Look at the coaching staff for Monticello. They're kind of fired up because they shut down the offense of the Maroons. You know, this second team, we'll call them a second team offense. I think that's fair to say. Picked up some first downs and ran out the clock against Unity a couple weeks ago. They did a pretty good job, so really that isn't all that bad for Monticello to feel. They got to feel somewhat good about shutting down Clinton, even though they had some of their second team players in there in this particular set of downs.
Yeah, I feel strongly that let's give them a few series here. I mean, this is, they haven't had a lot of time to work on the field this year in game-like situations. We got players running all over the place here right now. I'm sure Clinton's going to be offside.
Too many men on the field, too. And there's a flag thrown as the play unfolds for Monticello. They caught the Maroons defense a little unprepared, and with the snap of the football, we had flags fly as they picked up about 2 yards on the ground. They got a lot of new guys in there on defense, too. Let's pick up some of these guys. We get a chance. Brad Earl staying in there. Brad is a junior. He's 6'2", 160, and he'll get a lot of playing time next year, I'm sure, as he will the rest of this season. Matt Parsons still in there. Chad Herzog's still in there. Secondary players.
Randy Rich is in the secondary back there, along with that looks like Igems back there still.
What'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
I said Randy Rich is in there in the secondary.
The PA drowned you out. Gee whiz.
Jeff Wilson in at linebacker alongside Parson.
All right, after the penalty against the Maroons, it's 1st and 5, and they'll run it. Whitlock trying to right side. He's a yard or two short of the first down. Boy, some players still going at it in there. John Fenton's in there at a line spot. John Fenton is a 6'1", 190-pound junior, getting some playing time. Here's some more guys coming in. Back in there's Ryan Black. He was in there on offense a moment ago, and we saw Clint Seaman in the ball game for the Maroons at an end spot. Clint's a 6'1", 165-pound junior. And on second down and about 2 now for Monticello. Out of the I formation, they drew the Maroons across. Brad Earl with a little bit of inexperience showing there. He jumped the gun and came in there. Did you mention Dave Moore? Dave Moore's in there. Dave Moore is a 5'6", 145-pound sophomore. Who you pointing to, Brian? Yeah, Brad. That's right. Thank you very much. I got my spotter, Brian Dooling, alongside here. The 7-year-old who's seen probably, how many football games have you seen in your lifetime, Brian? You've seen about 5 years worth, I think now, about 45 football games. Here, Monticello with the first down after the penalty with the running play, and Whitlock corralled from behind and brought down. Good strong tackle by Wes Graves, who's in there also. Wes is one of those sophomores getting some varsity playing time. Wes is 5'11", 140 pounds, and a sophomore. Am I getting everybody here?
It's
just about.
for me to see that left side of the line. maybe there'd be one more person in
Well,
there.
we're less than 10 seconds to go here in the third quarter, so they'll turn around and we'll get to see him here in a second. It's the third quarter, the final play. Whitlock wants to throw, looking inside, overshot his man, and almost intercepted. Herzog had a hand on the pass intended for Mike Traub, and it goes incomplete. And time has run out. Have we had the sound of the gun? I believe we had. That's the end of the third quarter of play. We'll take a break and be back with the final quarter. The Maroons are leading Monticello 33-0.
Walker Tire and Muffler Service offers complete on-the-farm tire service, complete exhaust system, and custom work. They have computerized alignment and a large selection of shocks and batteries. Please invite Walker Tire and Muffler Service to your next flat. Open 6 days a week for your convenience. Located at 400 Illini Drive.
Final 12 minutes of this ball game. The Maroons have it well in hand, and they're getting some of the reserves, some playing time in there. About these pigskin picks, by the way, Cameron. I don't know about some of these comments you're putting underneath our pictures, and I'm sure people were wondering what the heck that was you put underneath my picture this week. Can you explain that? I mean, what was that? Nautilus? Nautilus has done wonders for his hoops or something like that?
It's a reference to your play at the YMCA. The early afternoons on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's picked up considerably.
You think so?
Yeah.
The round ball?
Without
The round ball? Thank you. Gosh. Well, Nautilus has done wonders. Doug Neuschwander stand down here with a $20 bill for me. That's why I'm mentioning that, the YMCA director. Here's a pass by Whitlock. Deep downfield, overshot everybody. The closest man to it was Randy Rich, who you mentioned a little bit earlier, is in the ball game. And that, a fourth down play, comes up short for Monticello. The Maroons' second team defense does the job and stops Monticello's offense here. And the Maroons are going to take over in Monticello territory at the 49-yard line, 1st and 10. Or is this bringing up fourth down? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the way it goes here. Early in the fourth quarter, that was a third down play. Here's the fourth down play coming up. So maybe they'll do the job here.
Clinton puts most of its first string. That looks like the punt return team, but it also looks like the first string defense.
Yeah. Well, they were set up for a punt return. Quarterback keeper. And Dawson did not get it. He got into Maroon territory, got to the 47-yard line. The Maroons had two men deep and were awaiting a punt by Monticello, and then they saw him come up to the line, so they quickly reacted, got in position, and stopped him after about a 4-yard gain. So now the Maroons will take over. See, I was just making a little prediction there. A much better prediction than I've been doing in some of my pigskin picks, and it's 1st and 10 for the Maroons at their own 47-yard line. I see you're bringing up the tail end as far as the prognosticators in the paper each week. You're running in last place, I believe.
Only 5 games out of first is the way I look
at
it.
Yeah, it's tight right now. It's a tight pack, and there's several weeks to go in the picking season. Got a flag before the first snap here.
I think Billy Huffman was lined up a little offsides there on the left side. Now he's going to back up.
You know, if I don't start doing better, I'm going to let my 7-year-old son, Brian, here take over on my pigskin picks. And, you know, if you keep having trouble, too, you could probably do the same and have your son take over for you, even though he's only a week old.
Yeah, I've had some people suggest that already, so maybe I will do that.
1st and 15 for the Maroons. And a quick pitch. Schumacher gets it to Conley. Conley trying to get around the right corner, cuts it upfield, breaks some tackles. He's into the clear. Still on his feet, caught from behind. The ball comes loose, but he was on the ground, and the Maroons should retain possession here at the 38-yard line. A first down run for Brian Conley. Is he exciting to watch or what? That might be the one bugaboo he's got, though, is a possible fumble. He's got to hang on to that football, although that one came loose when he hit the ground, and that was a down ball situation.
Yeah, but that's a really nice play for Ryan Conley. You talk about a quick pitch. That's also a long pitch. I mean,
yeah, it was.
It's almost like an underhanded backwards pass. I mean, Ryan gets out there and flips it to him, lets him get some speed built up and get around that corner. Turned out a nice play. We're going to have illegal motion on Clinton on this play.
Second team having a little trouble getting their act together here, but they did pick up a first down. They lost a couple yards as the ball carrier was Jeff Wilson, and he was dropped back at the 40-yard line. A loss of 2 or 3 yards, and I saw the Monticello coaches from the sideline saying, decline the penalty. We got a loss of down, too, and so that's a pretty easy decision. A loss of 3 yards, a loss of down. Should bring up a 2nd and 13. The official's still talking it over with the captain out there for Monticello.
Brian Molitoris enters the game at a line position for the Maroons, and looks like Jamie Queers checked in for he usually plays the wing back, slot back, whatever you want to call it, position for.
Casey Hicks is in there too, a 6'1", 245-pound junior. We got some big boys in the junior and sophomore class too. So even though a lot of senior linemen are seeing playing time this year, we've got some guys to back them up for the future with some good size. And hopefully in situations like this, they'll gain some valuable experience for the future years. But right now, we're playing for 1993, and so far the Maroons are going to be off to a 4-0 start, and we still got a lot of the fourth quarter of this ball game to go, but no doubt about it, leading 33-0, we're going to have a homecoming victory this year and be 4-0. Couple of yards on that play, and it's 2nd down and 12 coming up for the Maroons. Jamie Queer comes out. Bob Igems comes into the ball game with the play and gives it to Ryan Schumacher, the sophomore quarterback. Another sophomore quarterback, Nate Sims, the starter, a sophomore, and Ryan Schumacher, the backup, a sophomore. Takes the handoff. He's going to go option left. He pitches at the last second to Conley. Conley puts his head down. He is running hard. You know, he bowled over a couple of guys there before he's pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3 or so to go for a 1st down. Nice run by Ryan.
Yeah, nice pitch by Schumacher there to get the ball out to Conley. Again, you know, Schumacher and Sams are very similar type of athletes in the sense that they're tall, lean, they're very fast and just good competitors. And right there, Ryan made the tough pitch, but it was a safe one too, right there on the out of bounds line. And Conley, like we've been mentioning tonight, ran hard, knocked over a guy, picked up a couple extra yards.
From the I formation, Schumacher with the call. He'll pitch it to Conley, gets a block out front from his fullback, Jeff Wilson, cuts it inside, gets a couple of yards. Maroons are going to be short of the 1st down, but they have a 4th down and about 1 coming up, it would appear, depending upon where they spot the football. Clock will keep running here. Maroons will run it to the middle, and Wilson has the 1st down. They'll bring a man around from the end position, and he's going to have trouble getting around the corner. Jamie Queer got the call. Corner with Coach Chuck Nagel and talk about this ball game. And, of course, preview the game coming up next week against St. Teresa. That's at 9:30 tomorrow morning, Coach's Corner. Schumacher keeping, reverses his field, looks for some blocks, cuts inside a man. Boy, he's doing a lot of running here, still staying on his feet. Zone easily from where he's standing, easily. Ben has it, takes his time, sizes it up. He just puts it high in the air. It's going to come down short of the goal line, and Queer's there to try to down it. It takes a Monticello bounce, and it bounces away.
That way, when you do need it for an important game, you've had a little practice at it, and maybe next time Ben will kick it just a little bit better, and it'll be a big...
Get some good experience out here. There's a fumble on the snap, but Dawson...
I think I try to get too many upsets, and they don't work off too much.
Whitlock with the pass. It's completed. And out to about midfield and into Maroons territory. They're going to have a good time tomorrow night at the dance, enjoying a homecoming victory this year over Monticello, and some sweet revenge over this Monticello team that's gotten some close victories. Hey, the snap is loose on the ground. It's still on the ground, and I think the Maroons are going to get a recovery on this one as it was kicked out into the Maroons secondary. And
more time for their offensive unit here.
Conley on the run. Those of you watching on TV, don't be looking for that here on Channel 4. And he gets a couple yards. Officials might be a little liberal at this point with a 33-0 game also. And under some pressure, Nichols gets it away. Wobbly kick. That will take a bounce, take a Maroon bounce, fielded at the 37-yard line. Still on his feet to the 45-yard line, trying to get it upfield is Tim Kenny getting a chance here, a senior. Spotted dead. Yes, and Brad Earl, I think, came up with a football.
Yeah, looks like Brad Earl.
And she didn't just mean her son alone. She was talking about all the linemen in general. And Jeff Wilson lost 2 in the 1st down play. Jeff Wilson on the run for about 3 yards on the final play of the ball game. And the Maroons run the clock out and win this one by a score 33-0 over Monticello. And the Maroons are now 4-0, 2-0 in conference play. We'll come back and recap